what the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
To confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science.
But, you know, then you've got people on the other side saying, well, but experts disagree, which is a kind of typical merchants of doubt tactic. And the same will be said for nicotine benefits in Tourette's syndrome, ADHD, autism, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, a lot of research is looking at cross-sectional studies that find associations and trying to claim that nicotine causes those things.
They want to
when all logic says that people with those things are using nicotine because it helps them, but so we're going to face that. But I mean, one of the ways to deal with this is to get people to tell their personal stories. I should be the last one to ask anyone to do that. Why? Because an adult living with ADHD is already stigmatized.
Well, hello and welcome. You see, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm wearing the hat tonight. Michelle was the very first one. Our friend Southern Vapor was the very first one in tonight. But it looks like Jason's here and Steve is here and Kevin's in the back room and in the chat room and Mallory's here and there's just people here. And there will be more people coming, I am sure. But I just wanted to say, this is the first show that we're doing. This is the first show after Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race and has been replaced by Kamala Harris. So here, I just got something to say about Kamala real quick.
Hey, Kamala, heels in the air, Harris. What do you think, you were a tough girl getting off with your fucking Timbs yesterday, looking like a boss? That's the only fucking...
So, that's all I got to say about Kamala right now. But later on, when we're going to the Rumbles, I do have a longer video to play while Kevin and I are refreshing our drinks and we're getting moved over to the Rumble. But speaking of Kevin, let's go ahead and get Kevin in here too. What is going on, Kevin?
Nothing. I'm very tired.
Very tired.
I've been doing
at your
shit.
Young age, you shouldn't be tired.
Yeah, I've been doing shit. I got to be up at 7 a.m. Don't fuck with me. I didn't get a nap tonight. I couldn't get here quick enough.
Wow.
So
I actually last Sunday or so, I think it was Sunday. I think it was last Sunday. I got on a mixing frenzy, Kevin. I went and mixed.
You don't really care about me not having a nap, do you?
No, I mixed 1,000 milliliters of my e-liquid, a whole 1,000. So I have 10 of these 100 milliliter bottles.
You were breaking the law.
And you see what I did is I even made labels with green ink so that you
nice. So it's in code. Yeah. When you're on the show, it's coded.
Yeah.
So you're scofflaw. You're ne'er-do-well, scofflaw. Yeah.
I didn't realize that making 1,000 milliliters was going to be a problem, but my scales won't go that high, so I had to mix
Big.
3 different beakers and mix everything together. It turned out really good, Kevin. I had to tweak the recipe. I added a plum flavor. I need to order some ingredients, but it turned out quite well. Fig says that naps are for old guys, Kevin.
Naps are harm reduction. Kiss my ass.
Well, somebody's fired up. I did speak to Dimitri. I sent him every 3 to 4 months. I check in on him. I just say, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And he says everything is doing well. He's busy as heck, and he says he's still in the vaping industry. So he is surviving. He is surviving over there in Greece. Yep. And I also messaged Phil again. Every 3-4 months I message them, make sure they're still alive, because apparently they've gone radio silent. So I haven't heard hide nor hair of them, Kevin.
Hide nor hair.
I felt like I needed to make sure that they were okay. And apparently both of them are okay.
They're okay. I bet they were taking naps.
Well, Dimitri, I was driving this afternoon, and he's over in Greece. I know that there's some significant timage differences, but he was online when I messaged him. So, yeah. But yeah, Fig is in the chat room. Kevin, did you?
I see
say
that.
Say hello.
I want to touch his hair. I've touched his hair, you know.
You have repeatedly told us that. So, yeah, I would assume that you haven't lied to us, and that is an actual correct.
You know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, Kevin, this week, the Surgeon General
clown show. It's a clown show. What I've seen.
The Surgeon General was on a YouTube show, Kevin, and it wasn't ours. It was not our YouTube show.
I know. Yeah.
So I actually have that show. We're gonna play some of it.
All right.
We're gonna play some of this. So
I'm ready.
Yeah, let me make sure I got the audio on.
This is the pre-kiss my ass, Kevin.
Yeah, listen. If you hear sound, Kevin, give me a thumbs up when I hit play.
Yeah, all right. I hear it.
Back in 2016.
Now, this is called the Faust Files. Now, if any of you have read any, stories about, Faust was a guy that sold his soul to the devil in literature. I just, give you some education while we're doing this. Toasty Cheese also showed up, Kevin.
You wrote a report that taught me a lot on vaping. And when I read that, I took 2 things. One, nicotine exposure in young people could be really harmful, and that's a very big area. But I also took a surprise, which was that the connection with these products and cancer is not there. And so this could be a major.
The connection between cancer and these products is not there.
Huh.
So in other words, vaping doesn't cause cancer,
shit
according to these 2 schmucks on the screen right now. Just
major form of harm reduction for adults. Has your thinking on vaping changed in terms of a harm reduction strategy for adults?
Well, my belief back then in 2016, when we issued the first federal report on e-cigarettes in youth, was that there were very much as a possibility that e-cigarettes could be a useful cessation aid for adults.
Now, Kevin,
fuck me.
when Vivek, because remember when Vivek was the Surgeon General before, Fig had a little meme that he used, Murthyisms. Do you remember at any point during any of his tirades about vaping, did he ever say that vaping could be a successful tobacco harm reduction product? Did you lose your hearing aids, Kevin?
Nope, I still hear you now. I hear you now.
Okay. So
what the fuck was that?
Do you remember Vivek ever saying anything about vaping and tobacco harm reduction before?
I'd have to check my files. I don't believe he said much of anything. I do know, just for context, that Mr. Greg Conley, gave him, I believe it was the Royal College of Physicians report. I'm not positive. It might have been PHE. I don't know which. Handed him that in 2016, July of 2016. So he's had 8 years with his thumb up his ass before he says another word. There's your context. Hi, Fig.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I actually had that picture in the Twitter portion of the show.
No, that's all right. Do it again.
So you just, taking everything out of order, but that's okay.
I know.
That's all right.
It's fine.
If they were used entirely as a substitute for cigarettes and not as an addition to cigarettes.
No. Stop.
So he's telling people what to do, Kevin.
Is it clearly stated on any NRT that you must cease any and all smoking in order for that to work?
Actually, some of the NRTs, Kevin, say that you're supposed to continue to smoke with them, and then eventually
the FDA does.
Stop
Would
that.
You like the receipt?
Yeah, what?
Stop what? The FDA says that.
Yeah, that you should continue to smoke until you don't have the. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know that.
Okay.
That's exactly what I just said.
So he can kiss my ass.
Okay, let's keep going.
And while I still believe that, I also still believe that we continue to have a problem with youth access to e-cigarettes. Thankfully, we are in some ways in a better place than we were at the time I issued that.
Now, in some ways, he said. Now, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but the angle on the chart is like this. That vaping is even lower. The not in some ways, in all ways.
Yeah.
The numbers are down.
If you were gambling, you'd be losing.
I just,
if you were betting.
A report back in 2016. But we still know that there is no safe amount of e-cigarette use among kids. And we know that nicotine itself is highly addictive. So while
highly addictive, Kevin, just like heroin.
I know.
And it causes brain worms too.
I forgot this, and it was like 2 hours, and I thought, well, fuck, I forgot that. And then 2 hours later, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot my vape. So there you go.
Continue to believe that there's a possibility that it may help adult smokers in specific circumstances. I'm still worried about youth exposure to e-cigarettes.
Me too. And I also know that an area where you're passionate is in health information and misinformation. You've written and spoken a great deal on this, and I've heard colleagues.
Now, Kevin,
what
I want to say that Dr. Jeremy Faust over here, he's letting me down because, every one of these like Zoom shows or, our show, our type of YouTube shows, the bookshelves behind the person are always full with like stuff.
I noticed that too. I was going to ask you, why is all that empty?
Why is he
staged or
moving from one office to, but I mean, usually that's like a decorative. You want to throw some stuff back there, so people can see.
I figured it out. It took me 10 seconds. He's got all the material that Vivek understands about vaping and e-cigarettes and nicotine. That's the whole fucking scam advice that he has. Every bit of it. All his books, notes.
Colleagues that you and I both admire and respect say things like, don't let anybody tell you that these end devices, these electronic nicotine delivery systems, are any safer than traditional tobacco and cigarette products. And that makes my head spin because, as you say, there's no safe level. But I think by definition they are safer. Would you agree?
Well, I think harm reduction is.
Now he's trying to. I kind of like this Fausty guy now, but
he's pretending.
Physics said there's no safe vaping level, and then he paused for a second. Then he said in kids. So, obviously, I think Dr. Faust is trying to get to the point that if these are safer than cigarettes, then there must be a safe amount or a safer. I mean, this is better for kids than cigarettes. He's
Oh,
trying
well,
to get you to
there
say
you
that.
go. Well, in certain circumstances, of course, Patrick.
Yeah, yeah.
Is based on that notion, right? That there are degrees of risk associated with products and with practices, and here too, I do think that there is a degree of risk. I think one of the challenges that we were having with saying across the board that all e-cigarettes are definitively safer, especially in 2016, it had.
Now, Kevin, it's not hard to say that all e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes.
It's not hard.
Like he's
I
trying.
could say
He says we don't want to definitively say that
Well, of course not.
all e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes. But I mean,
Well, that
yes,
would
all
blow his cover.
e-cigarettes are safer than cigarettes.
That would blow his cover, Patrick. We don't want that narrative taken away from himself. What do you think?
I mean, there may be varying degrees of safer, but yes, they are safer than cigarettes. Now, I promise you, he's going to bring up EVALI. I haven't watched this whole thing. But I promise you that he's going to bring that up, and then he's going to put the THC vaping devices in with e-cigarettes.
I'm waiting on. We just don't know.
Yeah, well, that's coming too, I'm sure.
To do with the fact that we didn't actually know what was in a lot of these.
Oh, dear God.
Good night, folks. Thanks for coming. If you want your money back, talk to Patrick. Holy shit, I can't believe I said that and he did.
It's almost like we planned it, and I promise you,
I did not watch this fucking thing on purpose because I knew it was going to piss me off.
Challenges that we were having with saying across the board that all e-cigarettes are definitively safer, especially in 2016, it had to do with the fact that we didn't even actually know what was in a lot of these e-cigarettes because they weren't.
No, in 2016 they didn't. In 2019,
he had a fucking book in his hand.
In 2019,
yeah,
FDA required ingredients. So then obviously they can't say we don't know what's in them because we do.
He
at least on the ones that people actually apply, put in PMTs.
Well, Patrick, we just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, I mixed this in my bathtub in the bathroom this weekend. Now, I did not submit a PMTA on this, so
I highly suggest from now on that you got a weed eater, weed sprayer. You should use that when you mix it all. That's my suggestion.
Yeah.
Results may
I mean,
vary.
it is green. Don't get me. I mean, it is green. It could be that it has lawn clippings in it.
Because, well, oh no, I'm talking like Roundup. Your Roundup thing that you pump and you.
I actually ran out. I used it to kill weeds the other day, and I ran out. So that's the ingredient I had to supplement. Yeah.
At that time, well regulated, and the ingredients were often not fully disclosed. But by and large, because you're not combusting, tobacco and other products in the way you are with traditional cigarettes.
What?
Combusting? Is that what he said?
We'll go back a few seconds.
Back that up.
Because they weren't at that time, well regulated, and the ingredients were often not fully disclosed. But by and large, because you're not combusting, tobacco.
You're not combusting tobacco.
All right.
And other products in the way you are with traditional cigarettes. One would believe that the risk of e-cigarettes, by and large, would be lower than what you would see with combustible cigarettes. Again, not zero risk. There's certainly risk associated with it. But if you had a patient who was able to completely substitute their use of combustible cigarettes with e-cigarettes, in certain circumstances that could be safer. And that's part of where we need actually additional study and evidence, because thinking about this as a clinician, many clinicians have patients who are struggling with smoking. And in some cases, we do have FDA approved products that people can use to aid with smoking cessation.
That are only 6 to 7% successful, Kevin.
Shit for brains. That's what it is right there.
For whatever it's worth, Kevin or Fig says they still don't know what was in Sublime. I know, you schmuck. That's one of the ones that he stopped making that I liked.
Circumstances where people have tried those, though, and maybe they haven't had success, which is true for some portion of the population, the possibility there may be an additional cessation tool is potentially attractive. And that's why I actually continue to believe that that's something that we should be aggressively studying and then making available to people in safe circumstances.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about health misinformation briefly. How can the government?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with him. Health
You could cover the past 7 minutes about that and just recap for information and misinformation.
Yeah. Health.
All I know is he had a fucking book in his hand. Greg handed it to him in front of the White House or Capitol or some fucking where. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we just don't know.
We don't, Kevin. We don't know.
In certain circumstances, of course. Have you tried everything else? How many times? 22? No, keep trying. And then eventually, maybe
not enough tries.
someday when we decide and we figured out this tax thing, maybe we'll let you have just the tobacco flavors.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So over the years, Kevin, we've heard of lots of side effects of vaping, vape tongue and dried, dried knuckles and brain worms and all sorts of stuff. So they came out, they have discovered a new side effect of vaping, Kevin. And I'm not talking about like smoking cessation as a side effect. This is a new one. Let's watch this.
For years, vaping has been advertised as being less harmful than smoking, yet its full impact is not yet known. And one health concern has recently made its way into the spotlight. I talked with some experts about a new side effect called Vape Face. If you search the health effects of vaping...
Vape Face, okay. Kevin.
That's enough.
Vape Face. Oh, I'm sure everybody wants to know what Vape Face is,
You probably find articles from the Centers for Disease Control, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the American Lung Association. But these sites mostly talk about the impact on lungs, when there's another effect that's more visible to the eye, Vape Face.
I have had such a strong history, and I've tried to quit many times.
Meet Ash Bradford, a young adult from Australia who used to vape. In one of her TikTok videos online, you can see the different methods she's used to quit, including drowning her vape and chewing gum. But it was this initial video of her on TikTok that got our attention. Bradford showing what happened to her face when she was vaping.
The battles that I've been struggling with have definitely...
So with makeup and without makeup.
With a sunburn and without a sunburn. With getting smacked in the mouth and without getting smacked. What do you want? Come on.
Vein around my skin, and I've had like a history with acne before, but this was like a different kind of acne. This was like
soap and water, dear. Soap and water.
Rosacea, maybe? Is it
congestion?
Did you grunt too hard? Or?
Like stuff that I knew that I could fix if I just quit, which is better, like easier said than done.
And even though Bradford lives in Australia, she believes that it's still possible to connect with people in the United States and all over the world with social media platforms like TikTok, which is also what Dr. Frank Machowski uses to help people who want to quit.
I struggled with nicotine addiction for several years, whether it was to vape, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, and
now these guys can't even afford to pay for the StreamYard membership to get rid of that damn logo. I mean, little old me.
Oh my God.
I actually hear it. Let me I turn this off. Let me turn it back on. There. Now I have my own logo on there. Screw that damn StreamYard logo.
What is wrong with these people?
And I never really found that there was super effective information out there to help me quit. It was always just kind of talk to your doctor. Here's some Nicorette. Good luck. And after reading a few books regarding nicotine addiction and kind of how that works, I was able to successfully quit largely on my own. So I felt, where's the best way to...
But it's so addictive, Kevin.
This
guy read a book and he quit vaping.
By and large, it makes your face turn red and you just can't stop. And then if you take a big shit and you're grunting too hard, then you stand up and look and go, fuck, my face is red. And then you walk out and tell everybody on your TikTok. That's what I heard.
So Pippa says that that poop Aussie girl got strawberry flavored acne.
She was chasing a kangaroo or something. I don't know what's wrong with her. Rosacea. Is that the word, rosacea?
Yeah, rosacea.
Yeah.
Sonia Max says hi. She's over in Rumbles already, Kevin.
See, See,
reach
we
all
are
those
the number one
people,
show on
typically younger people who might be struggling with vaping, high schoolers, early college students, and most people are on social media.
Experts say whether you vape or are considering it, it's important to be aware of all the possible effects and understand that medical researchers are still learning more about the health risks over time.
The vaping now is going to be the same
The vaping, Kevin. The vaping.
epidemic as what we experienced with cigarettes. How for so long doctors didn't really say how bad nicotine was and cigarette smoking was. It took years and lawsuits and millions, billions of dollars even to get that information out there and hold big tobacco accountable. It's going to come full circle again with the vaping as because it's still so new, we don't have the long-term effects 100%.
We don't know, Kevin, because
I didn't think we
it's so
did.
new.
I'm so confused. I thought they knew everything.
Jason in the chat room says he's considering starting to vape.
Perhaps if
you should do it, Jason. Go ahead.
Just we want to give him some peer pressure. So let's consider perhaps we're in high school and you get assigned a report, and then you come to school and you stand up in front of the fucking class and you go, well, I tried, and I know I'm supposed to tell you everything, but I just don't know enough. Would you fail? That's what I thought. So why are all these people still able to get on TV and go, well, it's really, really bad, but we don't know enough?
We're just going to have to spend a couple $1 billion in some studies, Kevin. Studies.
100%.
The American Lung Association lists strategies that the tobacco companies use to attract young adults to e-cigarettes, with a popular reason being fruit or mint flavors. According to the CDC, in 2023, 2.1 million students used e-cigarettes. And a doctor we spoke to says that even 2 weeks of intermittent vaping can put people at a higher risk of nicotine addiction.
Nicotine addiction is a segue.
Just 2 weeks of intermittent use, Kevin.
I don't understand. How do these kids get them? I don't get it. Because I know they're illegal. And are we still on?
Oh my! Look at this. This is a pulmonologist and critical care specialist at UPMC Altoona, Pennsylvania, boys and girls.
PA.
That's the town. That's the nearest city to where my mother lives.
I'm gonna
be in Altoona in the middle of September.
Jesus!
I'm gonna
Thank
go
you
hunt
for
this
the
guy
warning.
down. I got to go visit my mommy.
Good, you should.
I haven't seen her since before the pandemic, Kevin.
You should have already been there, but I understand.
I'm an awful child.
Happens.
Way to start smoking a regular cigarette, and regular cigarette, as most of population know, significantly about 33 times increased chance of lung cancer. 11 different cancer comes from smoking.
Now we did just have a different doctor and the Surgeon General admit on their video that vaping does not cause cancer.
Well, yeah, but nobody's going to tell anybody else.
This schmuck from Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's going back to the same old misinformation.
Chuckleheads are us, is all it is.
Cardiovascular effect of smoking, like a heart attack and a stroke and emphysema and COPD, all the bad stuff come from addiction to smoking. And basically, starting vaping at a young age put you on the much higher risk of getting addicted to the cigarette later during your life.
Again, every time, Kevin, somebody threw this out there last week, and I said, please provide me with a link to the science that your statement is based on. Crickets. Jason even responded or tweeted after me a few days later saying, hey, we're
anxiously awaiting.
Yeah.
We got to pee. Like, hurry to fuck up. No, nothing. Huh.
Now, there are still some health effects of vaping that have not been discovered, but there are ones.
Oh, I can't wait for those.
Let's go back here. There are health effects to vaping that have not yet been discovered. So how do you know that they exist?
Right. Well,
Now, there are still some health effects of vaping that have not been discovered, but there are ones like popcorn lung or liquid pneumonia that doctors have seen in recent years.
Liquid
No, they haven't.
pneumonia, Kevin. Not
No, they
lipoid pneumonia. Liquid pneumonia.
I'm a struggler, but I try really hard, and I still haven't got that yet. And I'm working on it as
I
best
am
I can.
halfway tempted to respond to this that their journalist is an idiot.
They don't have to be smart or right. That's the thing. It's insane.
Oh, I got to take this off a screen for a second here.
I heard something this week and I thought it was funny. They all have applesauce for brains. Yeah, that's what it is.
Where's my phone? I have to
tweet.
verify I am who I am before I can comment.
Well, how the hell can people trust you then if you don't?
Okay, I am who I am.
That's wonderful.
Well,
now, do you know enough? Are you going to her Twitter or the?
No, I'm going to comment directly onto this video.
Oh, on the YouTube.
Yeah, let me represent this, and then we will tweet at them, Kevin. We're going to do both.
We're going to be in trouble. Send all complaints directly to both of us.
Yeah,
on Twitter.
Now, let's see.
There's mine.
There are health effects to vaping that have not yet been discovered.
Now they're going to turn off the comments. How could we prepare if we don't know what they are? How could you prepare? Did you call Dionne Warwick or whoever that was? I can't remember.
Speaking of.
Speaking of Dionne?
Well, you brought it up.
What, Dionne Warwick? I don't know what that would prompt you to think of, but all right. Oh, is Bastard here somewhere?
Maybe.
Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, I apologize, Bastard. I apologize. I'm sorry. I upset him, and I don't like that normally. I like a spoon or two of it. I'm not fond of it. But either way, Chucklehead One's over there playing. They don't have any comments. How many views do they have? 7? 8? 86? What is it? 88. We're 88. Thanks for providing us content. We appreciate that. Of nothing. These people are like weathermen. They can be wrong and nobody cares. Nobody really, there's no accountability to the weatherman. How many?
No, that's the only job that you can have.
Well,
and being wrong 50% of the time is still keep your job.
That in public health. They can be wrong 99% of the time and they keep their jobs. I don't understand that. Nobody cares. And they just go, well, what do? We can't do nothing. Because there aren't enough people pissed. Evidently. I don't know. I'll talk to Logan in the morning about it and see what he comes up with.
Yeah.
He's probably smarter than me already. He's up to my elbow when we stand side by side. He's 6 in a couple months. Crazy. And he starts school in a couple weeks. Oh, I can't wait for that. Are you going to tweet the same thing at him?
I probably am, Kevin. Since I have WTAJ News.
Yeah. Yeah, they deserve it. Then we can just all follow your lead. You're like the Pied Vapor.
And the Pied Piper of vaping, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that.
I don't want to follow them. I just want to tweet at them.
It's not so difficult to find these.
There we go.
Is it? That's good. There you go. Did you put your dot in front of it?
Not yet.
Just in case. You never know who else will enjoy your snarkiness, you know. Yeah, that's what I think, Mike. Oh shit, we forgot to turn those off.
Dude, I'm
gonna watch.
I'm actually I'm in night mode.
Look at you go. You go, girl. Because I like
in
the
night
night mode. The light bra this bothers me. It's halfway across the screen, ain't even full.
All right.
I wear my sunglasses at night, right?
So. Bam.
And I've had sunglasses at night. There you go. That's right. Rip their ass.
I did.
Do let us know if they respond to. You can't see a response on YouTube, can you?
I might.
Does it alert you?
I might. Maybe.
Nobody thought mine were important enough over the years, evidently. So I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, TikTok.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
This is like old home week. All the.
Are you out of jail finally, Paul?
All the people are able to show up here, Kevin.
Or are you in jail? Maybe he's in jail. Who knows? We don't know. I hope not.
Everybody should notice
criminal
that there are no ads on the screens when I share the screens now.
What?
There will be no more hat advertisements, no more. All the ads are gone, Kevin.
Oh, you broke them. You finally barebacked them. Is that what happened?
I'm using Norton's browser, and Norton's browser has a built-in ad blocker.
Building rods like a madman. See. Insert snarky comment here.
Insert jerky comment here.
Jerky comment here.
Jerky. Remember the Jerky Boys, Kevin?
Oh,
you remember them?
It sounds familiar. I don't know why. Who knows?
They used to do like tapes. They released tapes of like humorous answering machine stuff.
No.
And they had a movie. They actually had a movie called The Jerky Boys. But here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, friends, welcome back in. Youth vaping has become an increasing issue over the years, and thankfully, we have some tips on how to help teens.
Going through 7 years behind.
And here to give us those tips today is Dr. Alex Elswick. He's the assistant professor at UK.
Now, Dr. Alex looks like he's 12 years old.
I'm losing
he's
faith
going
in
to
this
be
one
on
already.
TV, and he puts on a sweatshirt with a zipper shirt. Not a suit and tie, nothing so that he looks respectable. He's wearing a jumper.
Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Elswick.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so vaping, it's so prominent. I mean, we see it everywhere. How prevalent is it here in Kentucky?
It does seem like it's all over the place,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Sure. Well, just for context, over the last 50 or 75 years, rates of cigarette smoking have been declining and declining. So that's really been a positive.
Good.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good Lord, that was, whew. That was one of the first things I was wondering about. Thank God he's covered it.
Yeah. You're welcome. We brought smoking down.
But it's been somewhat replaced by vapes in the last 10 or 15 years. A little bit of positive, though, from 2018 to 2021, we saw a decrease from 23% to 17% in past 30-day youth vaping. So a little bit of a silver lining, a bright spot.
Wait a minute. He's actually saying something positive.
Yeah,
That's not the narrative. Where's the punchline? Come on. Keep going.
Okay, that is good.
I wonder, what are we attributing that to?
A lot of different things. Some people have suggested that during COVID, when everyone expected that rates of substance use would go up, that actually because kids were stuck inside and they were being monitored by their parents, that it was harder for them to...
What's that?
Actually, though,
I'm sorry, what?
Do you remember during the pandemic? During the pandemic, they were saying that the numbers were going up.
Mm-hmm.
That we were creating a new generation of addicts.
Yeah,
that was the highest ever, Kevin. I remember that. I don't want to try to go find the show, but
no,
I
but
remember we covered it.
They couldn't wait for it to.
Yeah.
Right? It turns out that could be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. So how
Parenting is an action
and
verb.
again, he's saying parents, you should do your job, because when you had to pay attention to your kids, the numbers went down.
Parenting, it's an action verb.
harmful is vaping for people?
So the most honest answer is we really don't know yet.
Oh, dear
it's
God.
a relatively...
Kevin, was that on your bingo card? We really don't know yet.
Yeah, bingo. Checkmate.
Recent innovation, and
Right.
we don't have all the research, but we do have research on some of the chemical compounds that are commonly found in
Mhm.
e-cigarettes, and they've been associated with things like respiratory disease, cardiovascular disease, and even cancer.
Popcorn lung.
He
cancer,
just
and
threw the
cancer.
cancer out again
Oh.
when the Surgeon General and that other schmuck that was just on that previous video said there's no link to vaping and
Vivek.
cancer.
Vivek, you have no power, son. You need to work harder. This is not working for you. You
All
suck
these
at your
guys-
job.
All these assholes, they need to actually get together and at least agree on a script,
Well,
And a lot of folks are trying to tie this together into sort of a gateway drug corridor there.
Flavors.
Are we on board with this?
I think that's interesting, yes, because so often we frame cannabis as the gateway drug, but statistically, far and away, youth are most likely to start with nicotine and specifically with vapes. Actually, pretty recently, vapes surpassed alcohol as the most commonly used substance by youth. And so
Interesting.
in some ways, it kind of fits the definition of the gateway
that be
into
a
other
good
substances.
thing?
Now, he just said that kids use it more than alcohol now, but have you actually pointed to
No, they
an
can't point to
actual
it.
gateway?
They can't point to the
says
alcohol
that kids are
either.
going to go from this to something else.
Uh,
Provide that evidence. Yeah.
Your Honor, no, they cannot.
All right.
Wow.
So what can we do to prevent youth from starting to vape or vaping?
Frontline strategies here. Yeah.
Frontline strategies, always have a conversation. You have to have a conversation with your own kids that levels expectations, that talks about the harms. But one of the other things that I really encourage parents to do is to check and see if their schools are implementing evidence-based prevention curricula. We have a lot of those at our disposal that
Evidence-based prevention curricula, Kevin.
If it were evidence-based, they would probably make them do it more. So they have to lie, which is not an evidence-based program. So there you go. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Mallory does make a point. Drinking Coca-Cola does lead to drinking Jack and Coke.
Well, I tend to agree with that. That's something I would probably say, yes, I bet it does.
are really strong and have a really good research base. And so be good to see that in your child's school.
Okay. While we have you here, how
Now, Kevin, this guy here, you look at him, he's supposed to be an assistant professor of something.
Chucklehead.
something.
Bad choice
Now,
of socks.
when I was in
Chucklehead.
school,
Yeah.
all the football coaches had to teach a subject as well
Right,
as be the
yes.
football coach.
As well here, yeah.
And they were usually the shittiest teachers in that topic, whatever subject it was that they taught.
Okay.
This guy looks like one of those guys.
Probably.
how do we
Let's not
pivot
judge.
for an adult conversation about the vaping versus teens?
It's similar. It's somewhat different because there's some research that would suggest that vaping is less harmful than combustible cigarettes. So if you're an adult
that?
who was previously a smoker, using e-cigarettes may be less harmful, but that's not the same thing as saying that e-cigarettes are not harmful, right?
Yeah.
It's a very, very big chasm between those two things.
Now, again, Kevin, you and I and everybody in the chat room, we can all agree that no one has ever seriously argued that vaping is without risk or vaping is without harm. There is some harm.
There's possibilities, yes.
Yes. No more
we just
than
don't know.
5% of the harm of cigarettes. No more. That's what the statement says. No more than 5% of the harm.
And Carl argues that it's less than 1.
Well, that's why we say no more than 5. Royal College of Physicians.
Dr. Phillips.
They have left the door open that little crack, and they said no more than this. So
Absolutely. So where can people find out more information if they are looking out for their teens, their loved ones that may be vaping that they want to help?
If you have a loved one who's using nicotine or tobacco or vaping right now, you can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. It's the state's resource line, freely available resources, things like nicotine replacement, things like support,
back that
technical
up.
assistance. Great.
How far?
I'm gonna just to the phone number. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna report every one of you fuckers. Every one of you. You're all getting demerits.
It's the state's resource line.
Wow. We want to actually, if you want to drop a dime on your loved ones so that their insurance prices go up, and
they want to help.
If you have a loved one who's using nicotine or tobacco or vaping right now, you can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. It's the state's resource line, freely available resources, things like nicotine replacement, things like support and technical assistance. Great resources.
Okay. Well, education's key. Education for folks on the other side of the conversation to make sure that we're informed, because as we were discussing before we came on, I mean, just seeing it is intimidating for those of us who aren't.
Not one of these
seeing
fuckers is. What is it you say? They never touched a titty. Is that what you say?
He is a
They've
member
never
of the
been
Never
properly
Touch a
punched
Booby
in the
tribe.
They've never been punched in the fucking mouth for not minding their own goddamn business. What is
Never
wrong
Touch
with
a
these
Booby
people?
tribe.
That's it. That's the tribe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Well,
Familiar with it.
Right.
So really having
Michael, you're first.
being armed with that good information
Where'd he
is
go?
key to that fight, I would think.
That's
So
it.
Yeah.
Why do you do this?
Just to rile you up, Kevin.
Fucking people. Where's Brad? Why didn't they call Brad?
Well, I
Dr.
mean, he is in
Rodew.
Kentucky. That is his
he's
state.
fucking anywhere near it. He's the closest one.
I'm pretty
so they
sure.
haven't
No,
spoken to
I'm
an expert.
I think he is.
They
in
talked to a
Kentucky.
fucking gym teacher, is what they've talked to so far. And then he don't
Now,
know. And then
I made that statement, Kevin. That doesn't mean it's true, but I did.
What's that?
That
he's
he
a gym
looks like a
teacher?
football coach. That he
He looks like a gym teacher to me.
like a PE teacher.
You know, I went up to the Columbus. James invited me up there. Fig come up. Fig was there. Demi was there. Nick was there. Quite a few people. Beautiful humans were there. I wore, and Fig can confirm it if he's in the room, I wore a fucking tie. And yeah, I wore a tie.
You wore a tie,
basically
Kevin?
Private meeting, really. I mean, it wasn't going to show anybody anything. I wasn't trying to impress, the governor. He wasn't going to be there. But I went to a place where there was going to be no press, and I wore a damn tie. You go on TV and you can't. What is wrong with you fucking people?
I mean, it is Kentucky. It's
Well,
only
all
it's
right.
only one state away from West Virginia, Kevin.
I'm surprised he had shoes on. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
I apologize.
So, Kevin,
Yes, I wore a tie. What's
uh,
wrong with wearing a fucking tie?
the Brits are reporting that they're confiscating vapes at school, and
them
one
little
out of every 6 of these
Little
vapes that they're confiscating are spiked, with the zombie drug.
So they're not vapes to begin with.
1
So they're
in
not
6 vapes
confiscated.
confiscated at
Oh,
English
Lord
schools is spiked with zombie drug. Yeah. So it
What
says
is the
warning of
zombie
risk
drug?
of serious harm as synthetic drug spice found in
Oh,
vapes in 28 of 38 schools tested. Zombie drug, Kevin. So 1 in 6 vapes confiscated in English schools are spiked with the highly addictive zombie drug spice, according to research. Analysis from 38 schools revealed that the synthetic street drug classified as Class B, along with ketamine and GHB, was in nearly 100 devices. The researchers said that they believed the substance was being put into vapes and marketed as containing cannabis oil. An investigation at the University of Bath, they tested 596 vapes confiscated in schools in London, the West Midlands, Greater Manchester, South Yorkshire, and found spice in at least one vape in 28 of the schools.
Oh my God. Well, see,
yeah,
that fucks up your numbers, doesn't it?
The drug, which can cause heart attacks, seizures, and psychotic episodes. Kevin, is that what you're vaping all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. It's something
Psychotic
I like
episodes was found in 16.6% of vapes tested, while roughly 1 in 100 contained THC, the psychoactive component of cannabis. One vape tested contained trace elements of heroin.
I think they're just now making shit up. I really do.
Chris Pudney, a professor of applied biochemistry at the University of Bath, who developed a portable device that instantly detects synthetic drugs and is used to test vapes, said he was surprised how many vapes contained spice.
The University of Bath is full of shit, and this now has no credibility. It just went away.
Well, there's even a quote here. It says, "What shocked me was the percentages were so high, almost unbelievable." Kevin, I was expecting a figure around 10 times lower. The vapes we tested were taken from pupils during a normal school day, not because teachers thought there were drugs in them, just because vapes are not allowed in schools. The test also found that spice was predominantly added to refillable vapes rather than disposable ones. So now they're going to go after refillables because they're already going after disposables.
Well,
now they're going to go after refillables because you can put spice in them, Kevin.
Let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Children underage have established that they can get vapes, they can get drugs, and they can get it, and then they take it to fucking school, and nobody's questioning that. They just want it to stop.
Well, I'm not.
All right.
I'm going to say, Kevin, that at least one time when I was in school that I might have had a joint in my wallet. Just saying.
What?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, the findings follow research published in June showing a sharp rise in vaping among teenagers. See, we're going down over here, and the Brits are going up. Those damn Brits.
I guess everybody's moving over there. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's why.
Pudney said, "This is not just a niche one-off occurrence that happens in a school far away from you. This is something common. Teenagers think that they are purchasing vapes or vape fluid containing THC or nicotine, when in fact they are laced with spice." Now, Kevin, I need to talk to these drug dealers in the UK.
Well,
because I promise you, if I were ever to have sold pot, I would never have sold pot laced with something expensive.
Yeah, I don't think you would. Hold up your bottle. Do as you're told. I can't tell if it's got fentanyl, heroin, or if it's just crack.
Now, I'm telling you, if I were to add a heavy, an expensive ingredient like synthetic THC or something that I had to pay extra for,
well, there's got to be incentive.
Selling it to kids, telling them that it had nicotine in it.
It has to have a reason and an incentive, or it isn't going to happen. Yeah, there's no reason for it. Yes. Well, there you go. That's the incentive.
No drug dealer out there is selling drugs to lose money.
No.
None. I promise you.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm glad.
Unless they're just stupid. But,
just do it because I love it. and I'm rich.
I just don't see it, Kev.
Pippa, of course not.
Yeah.
Silly Pippa.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Look at all this fucking shit here, Kevin. I'm not worried.
They're chucklehead applesauce brains. That's what they are.
It doesn't make any sense to me, Kevin, that I would sell a product that if I'm selling nicotine vapes, I'm going to sell them for what, $10 or whatever. And I'm going to add an ingredient that's going to cost me, say, for example, $3 more per product. But I'm going to sell it at the same price. I just don't think
now
so.
You're at 7 before your expenses. No.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It seems like bad business to me. Yeah. I mean, if I were going to spike it with something more, I'm going to charge them more,
Yeah.
Just saying.
Automatic. It's automatic.
Yeah.
Oh, you want that with it? Oh, that's 15.
Just these dummy drug addict or drug in the UK. I need to do a seminar for them so that
hydrate.
Explain to them how to make money because they're not making it.
No, I don't think they are.
Yeah. So here, Kevin, this is like a week late, but here let's show this one.
The U.S. Drug Administration last week authorized marketing for Vuse Alto tobacco-flavored vapes, but the brand will be marketed on the basis of helping adults quit cigarettes.
What?
Cardiologist and Heart Association member Justin Dunn, however, says there's not much of a difference between the two, noting that vapes contain chemicals and heavy metals that can still cause harm.
Heavy metals, Kevin! Woo!
Is this the expert?
Yeah, he looks kind of stoned to me, but okay.
I don't understand.
Yeah,
we see it causing lung inflammation. We see it causing acute bouts of asthma. We see it causing death.
Well, he wants to seem like he's a surgeon, so he's wearing his surgical cap.
He's wearing underwear.
No, that's a surgical cap, Kevin.
He's not in scrubs.
Well, I know, but he's still trying to portray that he's a smart doctor, surgeon guy, so he's putting on his surgical
then
cap.
Then he'd wear a tie.
No, you don't wear a surgical cap with a tie. That
where the fuck did these
clashes,
ties
Kevin.
go? The ties just left the fucking country now? Is that what it is?
People have died from using electronic cigarettes, and they
see, there's the E-Valley.
They've directly tied those two.
Dr. Dunn also says while the long-term risks of cigarettes have been studied extensively, doctors are still unsure about the long-term risks of vaping.
Are you going to be my lover?
I tell you what I want. What I really, really want. Oh, sorry.
What was the fucker had a skull cap or a fucking pair of underwear on?
Well, I hope he had. Well, I mean, he might have been going commando. You never know.
On his head. Good Christ! You've batted like 0 upon 0 upon 0 thus far, Mr.
No, Kevin. I have gotten the results I expected, Kevin.
Holy fucking crap!
Yeah, I completely.
I could have a more intelligent. Not at you. That this is not directed at you. You can take it personally if you like and if you prefer, but it's not directed at you. Clearly disclosed. I could have a more intelligent conversation with my almost 6-year-old grandson than I would have so far with any of these fucktards.
He's above average, though, Kevin. I mean,
he is above average. He's outsmarting everybody.
Oh, here, we're going to do a forensic analysis, Kevin, of e-cigarettes.
Is there a test? I don't like tests.
E-cigarettes and ethanol, a forensic perspective on vaping.
Jesus Christ.
This is Michelle Peace, professor of forensic science at Virginia Commonwealth University.
Oh my God. It's hot. It's hot in here.
Yeah. So, we're not going to go into credentials. We're just going to skip that first question because that's just asking who she is. So it says here, what initially led you to study e-cigarettes, particularly in the context of substance use and abuse?
You mean me? Are you asking me?
No, I'm gonna scroll down. It says this answer actually celebrates the value and importance of having undergrads in the research environment.
For you, Sonia, just for you.
Around 2011, I was advising students on what courses they need to take. I had a young woman who had been studying abroad, and she was chatting with me about her experience. She said, "Dr. Peace, you really need to look at these things called vapes." I had no idea what she was talking about, and I conducted an internet search, and I told her, maybe this is interesting, but as a forensic toxicologist, I am more concerned about drugs and poisons that are potentially harmful to people and cause impairment. These are just nicotine.
That's a plot twist.
I'm sure that she's going to change her mind here. At the time, e-cigarettes were beginning to push into the U.S. market, but they were not widely popular. I thought what she said and their prevalence in Europe, I thought about the fact that people might not be manipulating them yet. Yeah. But we were likely to get into a place where they could, if they figured out how to open the device, they would put other drugs in them, Kevin. We just talked about that. In some preliminary data, pitched the idea to the National Institute of Justice, and we were funded. In your research, here's a question. In your research, you have highlighted emerging issues with e-cigarettes being used for vaping drugs other than nicotine. Would you elaborate on the most significant findings in this area? We have been studying e-cigarettes and vapes for more than a decade. A number of really important things have come out of that research. In terms of importance, I think it depends on what audience you are speaking to. The National Institute of Justice supports some of the work that we do to evaluate vapes that children have access to. It is hugely important to understand that children are consuming, or what children are consuming. While before it was predominantly nicotine, in recent years we have seen cannabis products in high schools.
They were doing that first.
In recent years, that you're finding kids are using cannabis in high school?
They were vaping fucking dope before
Kevin,
this.
when were you in high school?
80s. What a glorious time it was.
Did they have marijuana in high school?
Yes, they did. They had the devil's lettuce, and
that's in recent years?
Huh?
In recent years, they're finding cannabis products in high schools, Kevin.
I'll be damned. Well, I thought all us kids from the 80s just shut that down. That shit was no longer available.
I'm pretty sure that pot was in schools before the 80s, and that's way more recent. That's not recent.
Isn't that what your little marijuana film is with the guy that you think is me turning green? I don't know what the hell it's called. It's
this guy. Was that the guy you were talking about?
I've tried to get that footage of me taken down, but no, they won't do it.
What about this one?
That's dubbed. I can't play that well.
It's nice to see that what your hair looks like under the hat, Kevin.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, okay.
It's still full and it's still not gray. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Well, as
Either
long as
way,
you keep coloring it, Kevin.
At least, yeah, that it's gonna. You think I'm actually gonna go spend money to fucking color my hair?
Sonia says that you were in high school during World War II.
We were in different high schools together, you and I, Patrick. Sonia, you're only 21. What do you know?
I mean, Kevin, you are a decade older than me.
Yeah, my ass. Oh, my ass.
I still don't know if I passed my stone yet, Kevin.
Oh, good God. Shush.
I have an ultrasound on Monday.
Good, because it's none of my concern.
Well, Kevin, when I went to the urologist, that's a doctor that old people have to go see. He said if I don't pass it in 2 weeks. And this was.
Oh, you told me last week they're going to go.
He's going to go up in there and get it. Is what
that
he
gives
said.
you a little incentive, doesn't it?
You're gonna go up in there.
Fuck
and
you are.
get it.
You better give me something to dissipate it.
Yeah. It says here, it is also important to consider what other chemicals they are exposed to, whether that is a solvent like ethanol or ethyl acetate, or flavoring chemicals and humectants that people generally think are safe in our food products. The FDA recognizes them as safe for our food, but not safe to inhale. This is an important storyline to tell. FDA does not regulate most vapes. The FDA has only approved a handful of products, 7 or 8, and there are more than 9,000 types of products in the marketplace.
Yeah.
The marketplace, Kevin.
I want to see Brian King do that on TV. We've only got a handful so far.
Yeah.
That was at no extra charge.
The link to this is in the show notes, Kevin.
Please do not.
I am not reading this whole thing.
Yeah, don't click on that. No,
I'm not doing it. But do you notice there's no ads, Kevin?
I do appreciate the non-ad look.
Yeah, I'm glad I tested this new browser out because I've had it the whole time.
You're not making me change. You made me change to Chrome. Now I'm on Chrome, and I ain't fucking changing again.
No. You don't need to. You don't need to.
Good.
Now, Kevin.
What?
Do you know that the World Health Organization claims that it is the gold standard of public health, right? Like they claim that they're the ones that
that's the top dog.
They are the be all end all of public health, right? So why is it that it's 2024?
Yeah.
And the World Health Organization has just now released the first ever guidelines to empower adults to quit smoking.
You caught that, did you?
The first ever.
Huh. Because there's a narrative they want to change? Or they want to add to?
So it's here, quitting smoking is one of the hardest things many people will ever do. You know, Kevin,
yeah,
it was much easier for me to quit smoking cigarettes than it was for me to get that stone out of my kidney and moving along. I promise you.
Well, having stones are addictive.
Just saying. The comprehensive guide includes. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The World Health Organization recently introduced its first ever clinical treatment guideline to help adults quit tobacco. This comprehensive guide includes support from healthcare providers, digital tools, and medications to help 750 million tobacco users who want to quit. But why is quitting tobacco so tough? Nicotine, the addictive substance in tobacco, hooks users quickly. It stimulates the release of dopamine, a feel-good chemical in the brain, making you feel pleasure and relaxation.
Yeah.
Over time, your brain starts to crave nicotine to keep those good feelings coming, creating a cycle that is hard to break.
I just want to hear him bitch.
Yeah. When you try to quit smoking, your body reacts to the absence of nicotine with withdrawal symptoms. These include irritability and mood swings. Kevin, you're
I'm a walking mood swing. Nicotine doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anxiety and depression.
No.
Difficulty concentrating.
No.
Appetite.
Maybe. Tiredness. Yeah. That's one of them. That's one of the
sleepiness. These symptoms can be uncomfortable and make it tough to stick to your decision to quit.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, what?
If you're in the healthcare field, I'm sure you've heard of people stop sugar altogether, right? Have you heard of those people? They do.
Yes.
And what would it be similar to or the exact same symptoms?
They stop, maybe not the increased appetite.
Stop drinking Mountain Dew, for example, or stopping coffee, for example. you get the same exact side effects.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin,
Same.
I did stop drinking everything but water and coffee.
Did you have withdrawal symptoms?
I really want a glass of iced tea, and I'm not allowed to have it.
What does tea have to do with it?
Apparently, tea promotes the stone's growth.
Oh, but I thought he said you could have tea and you
No, I
yelled
could
at
have
your wife.
coffee.
Oh, it was coffee. Okay.
The
Either
wife
way, you
was
yelled at your
the
wife.
wife was going to get hurt badly if I couldn't have coffee.
Let the record show, Your Honor.
But I can have coffee, so we're good. The doctor said I could have as much coffee as I want as long as I drink plenty of water too.
Well, now I'm going to stay away from fucking tea.
But I haven't had it. I haven't had a soda in ever, Kevin.
Now you're scaring me. Yeah, I used to drink Dew as a kid, and then as I grew into adulthood to 20, I thought, well, coffee because I've been drinking coffee since I was 12. But
Kevin, you have to disown Sonia.
I will not. I don't
You
care.
see what she said?
What? She stopped. That doesn't mean she didn't start again. So I have hope. So, and caffeine is my drug of choice. Coffee, I love coffee way more than you. Everything except Logan, and then coffee, and then the wife.
Now, Kevin,
in that
if
order.
you had to give up one thing,
Yeah.
would it be coffee or the grandkid?
It'd have to be coffee.
I was hoping
I might be pissy for a little while, but
yeah,
if I had to. Nobody said I did. So I find myself going, ooh, I haven't had enough coffee. That's why I'm cranky. That's it. So let me have some more coffee. Leave me alone.
Sorry, Mohammed, but we don't allow people to link their channels in my chat room.
What?
I had to delete his self promotion here in my chat. I don't allow that.
That's why Tedros is grumpy.
Yeah.
Sonia, how do you stay awake? How do you put up with him? Hey, look at him.
Just trying to figure this out, but yeah. So it says here, these symptoms can be very uncomfortable, making it tough to stick to your decision to quit. Additionally, many smokers associate smoking with certain activities or emotions. For example, you might smoke with your morning coffee during work breaks or when you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
These routines and habits make it harder to quit because smoking becomes intertwined with your daily life. Social settings can also influence smoking habits. If your friends, family, or coworkers smoke, you might feel tempted to join them. Plus, for many people, smoking is a way to cope with stress, anxiety, and boredom.
Well,
what they're telling you here is that you can't hang around with your friends because they smoke.
We don't like you. Go over there.
Yeah.
In that little booth or down off property. Get off the property. When I worked in retail, they said you can't smoke on the property. Then I can't work here because I can't leave the property because then I'm going to be abandoning. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
So I smoked on the property.
Yeah, I start every day with a 32-ounce coffee, Kevin.
See, I endorse that. That's I almost like you now. See, you're trying.
That's how I start my day. On the way out to work, I stop and get a 32-ounce coffee.
Yeah.
And, it's with me all day.
That's how it starts again, Sonia. It's just
that's the gateway to more coffee.
Gonna be an addict again.
Starting drinking a couple cups a week now. Yeah, that's just the gateway to more awesome coffeeness.
I didn't like this. The kids were here, and I didn't like all the cups and glasses and dishes and shit. So I started using the styrofoam, and I probably get 10 or 12 cups a day easy, up into and including when I go to bed. I drink coffee all the way through.
Michelle says that she drinks at least a pot a day. I have one. I have a French press. I have a pour over. I have an espresso machine.
See, we should have a coffee show.
I have a
coffee.
for when company comes coffee pot that makes 14 cups of coffee at one time.
You don't have any fucking anywhere near 14 friends.
No,
It's
but
a waste of money.
You know, if another massive quantities person shows up, I can have, you know, 4 for me and 2 for the wife.
A big old mug. Yeah. I had one of those fucking, I think it was 64 or 72 ounce cups.
Like you have to get one of those bun coffee machines, Kevin, the big ones.
I don't have the industrial. I have a bun. Listen, if y'all love coffee, this is I wish Bun would sponsor us. You buy a bun, it's $110 at Walmart probably. You could probably get them a little cheaper, but I don't know that because I haven't bought one in so long because they last so long. The only thing you have to do is worry about your hard water. So use spring or
you get scaling in there if you don't take care of that.
I have not yet once put tap water in this new bun, and I've not yet once had any problems with it. None. The one before I killed because I didn't know any better. So
yeah,
or you can buy a cheap ass one for 10 or 20 bucks at the Dollar Tree or store or whatever, and then just use the regular water and then buy one every year for 10 years, and then you could have paid for it. So that's the way we went.
Drink warm water in the morning. It starts your day right. That's not how I want to start my day.
Drink warm water in the morning.
What are you trying to do, son?
Coffee is warm water. It's perfect.
Just
it's
trying
a little
to,
brown.
Yeah. Hey, Kev.
What?
Do you know what time it is?
Tickety fucking talk. Is it? Don't tease me. Meow.
It's time for the Vape Cats of the Week.
Drink warm water.
This is a tweet that you sent earlier in the week, Kevin, of
I know.
House Files that we played.
We pretty well covered it. There you
go. Joe Gitchell did reply in there.
Did he? Let's see what Joe had to say.
Joe says he's spreading. He says I hard co-sign Catherine with perspectives like blah 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 blah. Might be time to update the Surgeon General report on cessation too. And then Charlie says yes, cessation. The U.S. Surgeon General statement on record is still from the previous Surgeon General's 2020 report and is demonstrably false statement. There is a presently inadequate evidence to conclude that e-cigarettes in general increase smoking cessation. So, like I said, when we were going through the video, I don't recall this son of a bitch ever saying anything about positivity of adults using vaping to quit smoking in his report.
I would really have to try very hard to find Vivek because he was committed. He was uncommitted to that. And there, folks, right fucking there is Mr. Conley handing him, I don't know which, the RCP.
That is the nicotine without smoke. I can see the cover.
Okay, I can't.
So that is the Royal College of Physicians report.
What I do know is, this is for you, Sonia. Fucktard to the right has in his hand. Well, no, he doesn't technically. Could have in his hand, and he did take it. From what Greg, if I recall correctly,
Greg said he took it, but yeah, it's still in Greg's hand. Don't call Greg a fucktard.
No. On the right. Our right. You can pretend that that's what I said, and that's fine.
But he's on his right. He's on Vivek's right.
Let the record show. The fucktard with the hat. How's that? We'll do it that way. and the shiny buttons. That never made any fucking sense to me.
Yeah,
it makes no fucking that uniform makes no sense.
1-star general, I think, is what that is.
He's a 1-star something. So he in 20. What is the date on that? The 22nd of July, 2016 July.
Yeah, 2016.
8 years. He's had time to look down upon us, ignore us, leave the office, come back to the office, and replace the other fucktard, who was a much bigger fucktard. And this guy's a second in charge, I guess. And still has really, he just doesn't know. So take your faith where you like in your silly little public leaders. He already knows.
Yeah.
What?
So
that's my speech.
Here we got an Aussie here.
Yeah.
Her name is Raves.
Oh, look, there's a cat. Meow.
And Raves says that she can't get any nicotine-free vape juice for her reusable vape device. We'll have to buy some dodgy nicotine-heavy disposable from the black market. Thanks, dickhead.
This is crazy. I saw that tweet, and
this is for Paul because she said dickhead.
Way. Well, yeah, she has to be talking to him. I don't know.
Yeah.
See the cat?
And this one is.
Cat.
Oh, you want to see the cat? Here.
Here,
So Humper said, "Spend up at your friendly carrying chemist." She says, "For more nicotine, their products all have too much nicotine in them. Plus, my 2 local pharmacies don't/won't sell them. Plus, I like my flavors." And then the cat says, "Brew your own."
There you go.
Yeah, just like I did. Yeah, see my invisible vape juice here.
Laws.
Yeah. So anyway, Smoke Free Sweden. Smoke Free Sweden says the evidence is clear with a light bulb. E-cigarette users are more likely to give up cigarettes compared to those using nicotine replacement products.
Well, that's not
Read our series of reports to see how policymakers can make tobacco harm reduction a reality. From Smoke Free Sweden, Kevin.
Right, but there's the elephant in the room. They don't want that reality. They don't want to face that. Because they got some answering to do if they do. So they can't just they don't want to be the guy who goes, you know what? I'm all done with this bullshit. It's safer than smoking. Start doing it.
Yeah. So then we got another Aussie, a friend of the show, Breeze Tones, Adam Metalman. He makes coils, Kevin.
Does he?
He sends coils all over the world. He never sent me any coils, though.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that at all.
Look
at that.
He's saying you're number one. Says I have never bought a disposable. I've always had a prescription for my nicotine. I am not a criminal, even if the government says I am now. Or I now am. Harm reduction is harm reduction is harm reduction.
This got to be one of Paul's friends. Paul's got to be across the way.
Well, I mean, he is an Aussie. You know, they all know each other, Kevin.
Yeah, I
mean,
see,
it's a little island.
Yeah, I know.
If you just count the parts of Australia where people live, it's not very big. Because
aren't there more kangaroos though?
Right in the middle where nobody lives.
Aren't there more kangaroos and koalas than people?
Probably.
Where's Bruni, by the way?
I haven't seen Bruni in ever.
Where's Bruni? And Jason must have fell asleep.
And this is from Rebecca. Rebecca says, it's critical to separate the consequences of nicotine addiction from concerns regarding the harm caused to smoking adults. Here's a quote. The mistaken public belief that nicotine is the cause of disease, risk, and cancer, rather than the smoke from combustion, must be dispelled. That's true.
You know what's funny about that fun
what is that
of their making is Nicorette never comes forth and says, "Hey, fuckers, stop it! Nicotine doesn't cause cancer, or we'd be out of business." No, nobody's ever come on. I've asked Nicorette why they let that happen, and they don't.
Never happened.
They said call 1-800 eat shit or something.
Yeah.
To answer my
and
question.
this one here is from SIMO. SIMMO. Fascinating study found in female baboons, nicotine blocked brain aromatase, which converts testosterone into estrogen. In other words, nicotine is capable of helping maintain high T levels. Smoke cigars. Not medical advice. Manly man. If I ever saw a manly man before, Kevin, there's Sean Connery.
Yeah, no comment.
No comment. You don't like Sean Connery?
No, it isn't about Sean Connery. I have no comment.
Oh, okay.
Because
and then we have here. This is the last one from you, Kevin. This is from Samuel Brookfield.
Yeah,
he's a social scientist of some sort.
Yeah, sure.
He's a nurse.
Yeah,
a nurse. Really? Anyway, our new paper is out now, analyzing Australian media reporting on youth vaping and comparing it to the stages of moral panic around other forms of drug use. And then there's a link.
Well, my suggestion, and you do what you will, if you click on the link and go, don't even look at it, just go straight to the bottom to where we always go. Don't even fucking read it because it's not worth it. Just drop to the bottom.
Straight to the bottom, just for the
suggestion.
The conclusions.
Yes, sir. Because that in itself is probably the only thing you really need to know anyway. Because there's a lot of mumbo jumbo and bullshit.
So these findings are discussed in the context of moral panic theory and how framings are constructed by the media in collaboration with other policy actors to support particular policy measures. So what you're saying is there's an agenda.
Yeah, there's a big old ball of bullshit, and they just keep tossing it back and forth, going, "Oh, that's a little different. Oh, we don't know. Oh, that's a little different. Flavors. It's all one big ball of bullshit. They keep tossing around. What's that? Huh? It's unicorn piss, and all the things you like. Every one of you. You bunch of ne'er-do-wells. You're all on alert.
Yeah. So, in an effort for school boards to combat youth vaping, Kevin, Jackson County in Tennessee has created a new measure. Jackson County implements vape court for upcoming school year.
Hey, in years past we had vape court. I remember that.
Well, we had a thing called vape court where people would
fuck each other and then get yelled at.
Well,
that's what.
Yeah, they would scam. They would call out the scammers.
Mm-hmm.
The scammers were called into vape court.
There was a lot of this going on,
and nothing ever happened from it, though. Other than
sternly worded shit went on, though.
Yeah. So it says here. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Jackson County, Alabama. Jackson County needs to implement a new vape court for the upcoming school year to reduce student vaping. So is the vape court actually going to reduce student vaping, or is it just going to punish the kids that get caught?
Are they going to bring in the people that actually sold it to them, or the people that actually passed the laws to make it lenient enough to be sold to them?
Is there like a Judge Wapner? Anyway, school resource officers will issue citations to students caught with a vape on school campus. The student and parent will be required to attend a court session convened by the Jackson County District and Juvenile Court. The vape court can issue penalties such as mandatory 4-hour educational courses, community service hours, and potential fines. Surrounding counties such as Marshall and Coleman have implemented the vape court and have seen significant improvement. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, you don't want to get outed in front of your peers, especially if you're going to rat on them.
Yeah. So these schools will still enforce their own policies on vaping, along with what the vape court issues. Mountain Lakes Behavioral Health Care's prevention team will teach the 4-hour course as part of the American Lung Association's in-depth program, Kevin.
And there you go.
This course is funded by a grant from the Alabama Department of Mental Health. In Alabama, it's illegal for anyone under the age of 21 to have or use tobacco or nicotine products.
See, if you stop there and you went, well, wait a minute, John, it's illegal for them and they have them. How did they get them? Let's go there. Let's try that.
We should first smack the parents around a little bit. Then we should go find the person that sold it to them and smack them around a little bit.
No, first you tase the children and then you beat them and strip them,
I
embarrass them, and then you let the parents know. That's the way. So far, it's basically gone.
Yeah. So here we go, Kevin. We got another one here. This one is about military fellas. So and ladies in the military as well.
The lung association.
So Kevin, this week I posted a picture of my neon green vape e-liquid on YouTube or on X, and Hunky Vapes was trying. I think he was really trying to get my recipe for my green stuff, and he just showed up in the chat room.
Well, why not?
Because it's secret. It's top secret, Kevin. One of these days, I might try to sell this.
Did you get your mail over to Nick yet? If he says it's in the mail, it's not coming. So don't trust him.
Well, no, I mean, I've already. I don't have that anymore. I don't have those things for Nick anymore.
So you did mail them, allegedly.
I don't have them anymore. They're not here. Well, I sent 2 boxes. I sent a box to what's her name, and a box to that guy, and what's her name got it. So yeah,
it's just one big old clusterfuck.
It's my homemade.
I appreciate that, by the way, having Judy on earlier. I love that clip. I just
Anyway,
Marilyn and Judy, those are my loves.
It's my proprietary. I already told him the secret ingredient. The secret ingredient that makes it green is the absinthe flavor from Decadent Vapors in the UK.
Oh, there you go.
But all of the rest of the flavors are from Flavor Art, except for one other ingredient that is from the Perfumer's Apprentice.
Mm-hmm. None of them are open anymore, right?
No, they're all of it. They're all.
They still going.
The only problem with ordering the Decadent Vapors is shipping is such a bitch. You have to buy so much of it that you don't have to order it again for like 5 or 6 years.
I made Janice tell me everything she wanted. We went through a list. I took out 3 loans and I bought it because there ain't no fucking way I'm gonna let that woman not have her shit. We have so much that I will never get through it.
All the other ingredients are widely available in the United States, but that one the green flavoring has to come from the UK. Yeah. And so I had to buy like 4 ounces or something. I had to buy like a big, huge, giant bottle of it. I'll never need it again. I have enough that I could make. Well, I mean, I made 1,000 milliliters of this last Sunday. So I'm not going to have to make anything for at least 6 or 8 months. If I only vape this. I mean, that little bit there.
Janice just made some more. She said, well, you made it the same time I did last time. I said, yeah, it was like a week before or after. And I still have like 5 more bottles of this.
See, this is what I vaped in a week, Kevin. This is
right. Yeah, I don't either.
You see that little bit is all I vaped in a week.
Almost a tank a day. Anyway, that's it.
But yeah, see,
18. Though.
So I made labels, Kevin, for my 10 bottles. So I have the next 3 batches of labels already made.
Look at you
and
all.
I made 10 different names for the e-liquid. So they're
Did you name one of them at least after me or not?
No, they're all green. It's a theme. So it's all green things. So there's one called Green Goodness, and then there's one called Go Go Godzilla, and then Swamp Thing and Frankenstein, and then there's one called The Ooze,
Hulk,
and Radioactive, and then I have the Munsters. I didn't want to put Herman Munster. Then Kryptonite, and then there's one called Biohazard, and the last one is called Zombie. But it's all the same. It's just that I didn't want to have this, I couldn't settle on one name.
You just want your friends thinking you have more than enough shit, right? That's all.
Yeah. Well,
that's what this is called.
You can actually see right here behind me.
I can.
The 9 other bottles lined up on the other computer keyboard.
Yeah.
Right. They're right over there.
See?
Above my left shoulder.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm about 100 or
but
so.
Sonia, I vape 12 milligram free base nicotine.
Yeah. And I'm 18.
So I don't need, if I vaped 60 mils of 12 milligram.
Yeah,
I'd be tweaking. I'd be like, you know.
Yeah, I think these are 2 or 2.5. I think, I don't remember, but yeah, I'm about 100 a month, give or take. I usually have some left. It don't matter. Would vaping help more veterans quit?
This is from a military website, Task and Purpose. Yeah, she vapes 1.5 milligram, Kevin. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Right.
It says, would vaping help more veterans quit smoking? ? One group thinks so. The group Smokeless Vets hope to help 100,000 veterans stop smoking using nicotine products like vape and gum they think would help, or nicotine pouches.
Remember Vape-A-Vet? I love them.
They were my friends. I have pictures of me.
Were they? Yeah.
At their headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona.
I was very appreciative of the things that they could tell me early on.
Yeah. Will was a very good friend of mine.
Okay. I didn't know his name. I just Vape-A-Vet's all I knew.
Yeah. Give me a second here. Where am I going?
I put them in my blog a few times because unprompted. I didn't ask them to, and they didn't ask me to. I was like, oh, look at that. They're helping.
Yeah, they were good guys.
I do like.
They had an entire line of e-liquid, and all the proceeds from the sales of their e-liquid went to buying hardware and stuff. So this is me at the Vape-A-Vet headquarters right here. Bam.
Oh, see.
And that gentleman down here is Will Cohen, and their e-liquid line was called Bottles Ready to Vape.
You know what? I think he's on my friends list, and I don't even know if I knew that or not.
I haven't heard from Will in a long time, but yeah, that is me at their headquarters. I was there. Oh, they had an event. We went to Phoenix. I went to Phoenix twice. I went once for a wedding and once for a vaping event.
Yeah. If they're not still, I'm assuming they're not going anymore. But if they are, God love them. And if they're not, they did really, really good.
Well,
things.
yeah, I don't imagine that they're still around.
No,
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but it says here Omar Crispy Avila tried smoking a couple times as a teen, and he didn't like it. But when he joined the Army after high school, it seemed like he was smoking and joking with his fellow infantrymen overnight. I was so focused on sports in high school that I didn't really care for it. But after joining the military, I think the training goes hand in hand with nicotine and caffeine, Avila said. I just kind of picked it up and smoked ever since I was in. Drinking a lot of coffee and smoking cigarettes to stay awake, especially during night missions. Now, Avila is part of a group advocating for a new messaging campaign called Smokeless Vets. The group includes Black Rifle Coffee owner Jared Taylor as a spokesperson and believes that traditional cessation programs ignore the benefits of alternative nicotine products. The group says it wants to help 100,000 veterans quit smoking by 2035.
Okay.
That's all right. Yeah. At the heart of the Smokeless Vets message is a belief that quit smoking programs offered to veterans by the Department of Veterans Affairs handicap themselves by focusing on nicotine replacement. VA approved quit smoking programs on smokefree.gov endorse NRT, which includes gum, lozenges, and other methods for smokers to get a nicotine dose without tobacco. But Avila and Smokeless Vets say that traditional NRT and the VA ignore products that deliver nicotine like vapes and chewing tobacco or gum at the expense of veterans or nicotine pouches. Nicotine is the primary addictive substance in smoking and comes with a well-established health risks. But traditional smoking is what Avila and his group believe is much more harmful, making the use of nicotine alternatives a reasonable path to quit smoking cigarettes. what we should do, Kevin.
Yeah.
What is this thing called? Smokeless Vets. Let me see. Do they have a Twitter, Kevin?
I don't know. I'd never heard of them. Invite them on. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, not only that, but I'm all about like making connections with people, Kevin.
Yeah.
And if they have a Twitter, I just so happen to know, or at least have a budding relationship with a nicotine pouch company, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't it be nice to connect Smokeless Vets with Zemo nicotine pouches? Wouldn't that be
with an alternative? Yes. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
It would. At least they have a choice.
But no, I don't see a tweet. I don't see an X account for these schmucks. You guys got to get on the ball here.
Oh, Jason's awake again.
Oh yeah. So they have a website.
He dozed off.
Did he fall asleep? He's a mortician, and they.
It's our soothing, happy voices that keep him asleep. That must be what it is. Uh-oh. Night.
So let me see. Who is this guy? Dr. Timothy Vermillion.
Vermillion. Doesn't ring a bell either.
He's sharing some Smokeless Vets. He shared this actual article.
Okay.
But I know that they have a website.
Oh, there you go.
See, there's an org. Let's see, smokelessvets.org.
Org.
Let me scroll down. Sometimes on their websites you have their little socials on the bottom.
Yep.
They do. Here we go. Let's see what it's called.
See? And there you go.
No, damn it.
No. What year is the article?
Oh,
it's new, isn't it?
What's this? Who's the guy that's mentioned in the article from Black Rifle? I know he has a Twitter account. Jared Taylor.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, Jared Taylor. Well, if he's the spokesperson, Jared.
I'm sorry, Jason, that we're so boring that we put you to sleep. It has to be our smooth, velvety voices. I can't think of anything else that would put you out.
Yes.
We don't even have mic.
I'll find it later. Anyway,
fine.
We're later on. I'm gonna tweet, and I want you guys to retweet so that Jared Taylor knows that we're important people.
The head clown has spoken.
Yeah,
we're important people.
So that maybe Zemo. Oh, I found him. Here we go.
You found it. All right.
So yeah. See, now we're cooking with gas.
I knew you could.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Well, do we really know enough about cooking with gas?
Well, not in my neighborhood. There's no natural gas on my neighborhood.
What?
So
none, zero, zip, zilch, nada. Why?
Because it's a new neighborhood and they're jackasses.
Wow. Okay. How you like that freedom of choice in Texas? Then okay, I'm just checking. I just want to make sure. Of course, you chose to live there and you knew it, right?
Well, there are other neighborhoods in Texas that do have it, but my fancy schmancy new neighborhood doesn't have it.
On purpose. Will they ever? Probably not. They're going to tear up them streets. Of course, you don't have to worry about freezing either, so. Well, not for more than 10 minutes, probably. So I guess I don't feel so bad for you. Oh, see, they're going boating, having a good time. I got to sit here with your silly ass every week, except when I don't.
Except when you don't.
Except when I don't. I've put in my notice, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, your notices went right into the recycle bin, Kevin.
Hey, listen, I think it's just as valid as Joe's. Don't you? Huh?
Well, are you saying that you're as feeble and
yes,
inadequate as Joe, Kevin?
Certainly. Y'all can argue for me in the chat all you like. I encourage it, in fact. But
yeah,
either way.
So yeah, I have tweeted, Kevin.
You have tweeted, and you feel
I've
better
tweeted,
about yourself.
tagging
There
both Zemo and Jared in the
No
same
matter where you
tweet
go.
with a link of this article, saying, "Hey, you guys need to talk to each other."
There you go.
Yeah, I'm
I've
doing
done
my
that.
good deed because
Bob,
you know
this is
my
Bill,
friends,
Bill, this is
my
Bob.
friends at Zemo,
Bam.
my friends at
Yeah.
Zemo, you know, they hooked us up, Kev. Just
I
saying.
need a 12-pack of that stuff from Zemo. They just need to
Well,
send
they
it
only sent me
straight to
6. They didn't send the 12.
I think they should send me. All right, then they should send me 6.
Yeah. Well, it's Jason's fault because Jason introduced me
And
to them.
I got the whatever
and
the
not
fuck I
you
got.
to them. It's Jason's fault.
What is this thing? You already know what I
On.
got.
You have an on.
Yeah,
I
that.
did happen to go into a convenience store today, Kevin, to look behind the counter to see what was there. They
expired.
had Zen. They had a brand called Rogue. They had On and one other. And I think they're all big tobacco brands, I think.
Does this expire?
I'm sure everything expires, Kevin.
I don't see a date. It was a sample from my boy. And he goes, "Here, I don't want this. You can have it." And I said, "Okay."
This
But
one
I
on the
won't
back
try it.
of mine has a expiration date of September 25th of 25.
Well, that's
So
I've had that for 2 or 3 years. So.
They're good for at least a year and a half or so, I would say.
I guess I'm not in a position to necessarily want to try it. I would like to try it. Just like if I was driving to Maine and back a few weeks ago, I probably should have done it then, for instance, just to try. But anyway,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this just goes on to say stuff that we already know. That vaping is safer than smoking, that vaping is substantially more successful at getting people to quit smoking than NRT, yada, yada, yada. I think that, our vets should have, especially since what they do tends to be stressful and maybe sort of pushes them towards the use of nicotine. That we should offer them safer alternatives to the nicotine that they're fully aware of and they use because it's widely available.
And because there's no flame, you're flicking your bic, or making noise with your Zippo, of course, like they used to.
Yeah, see, the only person that followed my instructions, Kevin, was Raj. Omicidal's the only one that followed my instructions about liking and retweeting it, so that we look more like famous and powerful.
You just did it. Relax.
Do what I say, Kevin.
Lord.
Swear to God.
It's hard to be humble. What?
Yeah. You're just being a pain. Speaking of punishing children, Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes they deserve it.
Vape court
Sometimes
and stuff. And embarrassing children, like you said about tasing them and hog tying them, and yeah. So here, this is the last piece for the YouTube portion of the show tonight, Kevin.
Oh my God, really? Wow. All right.
Yeah, it says violence, vaping and vandalism. SD25 considering single stall bathrooms to curb growing issues at local schools. So only one kid can piss at a time, apparently, Kevin.
You know, there's just one thing at a time. You motherfuckers just keep picking and fucking you're pissing me off.
Representatives from School District 25 are considering implementing single-stall bathrooms in public schools across Pocatello and Chubbuck to combat growing issues with vaping, bullying, and vandalism. In a modern technological age that has cameras plastered in nearly every hallway and has enabled almost every student to have unbridled access to the internet through cell phones, there is a growing trend of violent and unruly behavior occurring within school bathrooms, Kevin.
Well, that's the vapors right there, you little vapor people.
Kevin,
what?
Did kids not fight in the bathroom when you were in school 100 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Is this a new thing? Really?
And then if they became friends and they smoked pot, they didn't fight no more. That was the good part. Yeah, this ain't a new thing.
You know, this problem has become so severe that some students have avoided using the restroom altogether while at school, instead waiting hours to use them at gas stations, nearby restaurants, or until they get home. Well, Kevin.
And that tells me that their rights are being infringed.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin, I have always been a territorial sitter.
Okay.
So I never, ever sat down on a toilet when I was in school.
Okay.
And I am not joking. My body would not allow me to have a bowel movement at school.
No,
I know that we're talking.
Yeah,
I could pee at school, but I would never take a dump at school.
I won't name names, but one of my two, you got a 50-50 shot. One of my two was like that. One of the two. Yeah.
So like my bowels wouldn't even turn on. Now, the moment that I walked into the house,
that's the problem.
You better not stand between me and the shitter. But when I was in school, never once did I poop at school. I couldn't do it.
I get it.
I don't, and even now, I will not use a public toilet.
But here's the thing, Patrick. I know you can relate, whether you have children or not. It honestly doesn't matter in this scenario. If a child wants to take a piss or whatever, or a girl has to go do her thing, whatever, and can't, and then an accident occurs, and then an accident occurs. We don't have to go graphic, and then they have to go to the office, and then they have to call their fucking parents, because then they are going to call their parents, are they not? And then when I get there, if it's me and I'm the grandpa or I'm the dad, I'm really going to say, why couldn't you go to the restroom? What is the problem?
Yeah, no.
What's going on in this fucking
girls,
school?
High school girls have a problem.
Extra troubles. They have extra troubles. That's fine. It's okay.
That boys don't have.
Right.
Obviously.
That's all we need to know. Yeah.
And,
we're adults.
And that would be super embarrassing.
You can't fucking tell me that this is a reasonable fucking
traumatically
way to go.
Scarring, you know,
Right. So if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I can't figure out where I would be, but boy, I'd be the first parent or grandparent standing there going, you need to explain this.
Well, if I was a parent
at a board meeting,
if I was a parent, I would go to the school board and say, you know what? Fine. If you're going to do this and make, because that obviously, if they make every restroom in the school only one occupant at a time.
Oh yeah, the teachers have to go through it too. Yeah.
Then the fucking teachers would have, there would be no multiple restrooms for the teachers. The teachers would have one toilet for all of the teachers, the boys and the girls, and they would have to split their time.
Jeez.
Because we all know, Kevin,
what?
That girls' bathrooms are a step above boys' bathrooms.
Yeah, well, you might not have ever cleaned in an establishment, so I don't know, but Normally, you're right.
I've never
Not
stepped
always.
foot in a girl's bathroom, Kevin, but I always see what I see on TV is the girls' bathrooms are always way prettier. They have, nicer equipment there. Just saying.
God.
When I was in school, the boys' bathrooms didn't even have doors on the stalls.
Oh, watch your mouth, Jason.
That's one of the reasons why I would never use the toilet. Because there was
other boys on there, yeah.
There was no doors. I like to have some privacy while I'm, performing my business there, Kevin.
Well, wouldn't we all really? But,
yeah. So it says here, working in schools, I started noticing that multiple problems seem to originate out of the bathroom. And I began asking staff members and students if they felt the same. And overwhelmingly, staff and students told me that they felt that the majority of problems in schools did originate in the bathrooms, said Pocatello Police Corporal, CPL Corporal Jordan Johnson, a current resource officer in School District 25. So they're allowing some fucking resource officer that's a corporal to dictate policy.
Because they don't. Why doesn't he go to the store where they're getting them? If he's an officer.
I'm just still
what is your
why he's so concerned about the bathrooms that naked teenagers, well, not naked, but undressed teenagers are in.
Becoming to some extent at one point or another.
I mean,
they are going to.
There were some girls that I know of that would perform in the bathroom. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are certain things that did occur in the bathroom.
Hey, how you doing? Okay,
but
so all I know is your recipe for disaster has become worse automatically by creating a one stall bathroom. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. I don't even understand how that can't come across your brain. And I'm not very fucking smart. How many kids you got? Okay, there's 1,000 school. There's 12 to 1,500 over at the high school here. There's 5 or 6 halls. Each hall has 2 bathrooms on each side at one time. I don't know what they got now. You do the math, and there's probably 2 or 3 stalls in each bathroom.
Yeah.
You do the math.
And a couple urinals.
Yeah, and well, the sinks if you have to, I guess. But when you do the math, there has to be some sort of legal representation of toilet per capita of child somehow.
No. Remember, Kevin, that one school was locking all of the bathrooms during the school.
Yank my fucking.
So there apparently is no law that kids should be allowed to relieve themselves during the day at
school. I'd either yank the principal across his desk, or I'd yank my kid gently because I love.
Well, these are remember, Kevin, we have video or audio of the superintendent of Atlanta schools saying that his teachers don't have the time to be monitoring these kids in the bathroom in between classes.
Yeah, well,
that's when they're taking their smoke break or whatever.
Honestly, really, my question is still the same as it was before. Is it not important enough to you to walk your happy ass in there and alleviate the trouble? Really? Is it that hard to do?
It's so difficult.
You can stand at the door. You don't have to walk the fuck in the middle of it and gawk.
Yeah, but we've covered this many times. The teacher that's nearest to the John in between class could just walk over there, poke his head in.
Patrick 3 hours ago was like, yeah, we're going to talk about kids in schools and work his fucking ass up. Makes for a better show.
That's exactly what I do, Kevin. That's exactly.
Fuck you, Patrick.
I say that one.
We can't have nice things.
I save that one for last on the YouTube show.
I do not understand in general the public anymore. I really I've just become the get off my fucking
They are
lawn
voluntarily turning into like lemmings, Kevin.
Your rights are being pulled from you. They're not even like, do you mind? They're like, fuck you, we're doing this. This is what we're gonna do, and fuck you.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. They're just gonna go, okay.
Well, do I get something else in return?
Okay. Yeah,
Oh
just
my
take more of my rights away. That's okay. All right, Kev. I'm copying the link to the Rumbles in all of the chats right now.
I'm going to break some kind of copyright law. Let's get ready to rumble.
No, I can't. You're not allowed to do that. Michael Buffer will come after me. Or
Oh,
his
you know who
estate
it
will,
is?
'cause he's dead.
There you go.
Yeah, Michael Buffer was his name. He dead.
Is he dead?
He's
Aw.
dead.
Well,
But yeah, he owns the trademark.
yeah, I know.
On,
I
on
know.
that.
Yeah, oh, I know. Can I do it on Rumble?
Yes.
Well, what fucking use is it then at this point?
Well, you know,
it's like Gene Simmons owns the is it the dollar sign?
I don't know about the
Or
dollar
some form of the dollar sign or something. I can't remember now. It's fucking crazy. Anyway,
but I do have a 4-minute video segment that gives Kevin plenty of time to make coffee.
Hello, caller. This is Patrick. Welcome to Vape Time.
Actually, it's 4 minutes and 49 seconds. You have plenty of time to go make your instant coffee, Kevin.
Well, I hope there's somebody else not in the damn bathroom then, because if somebody else is in there, I can't do it.
We're sliding over into the Rumbles, and we're gonna play this 4-minute video. We love you. We'll see you in 4 minutes and 49 seconds. This is where we get political, Kevin.
Oh, good Lord.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
Congresswoman, did you get the answer that you were looking for from Senator Harris?
I got no answers, but more importantly, the American people, voters, got no answers. Senator Harris said very clearly on the debate stage last night that she's proud of her record, yet she failed to answer these very pointed questions about these parts of her record where when she was in a position of power and responsibility where she could have been a champion for the people, instead she was the exact opposite. She was perpetuating the worst part of our criminal justice system that disproportionately impacts our Black and brown brothers and sisters, poor people in California. And I'm concerned about the kind of leadership that she'll bring to the White House because she's built her whole presidential campaign around being a champion for minorities, being a champion for the people. But once again, when you look at her record, and I'm not talking about a record from 30 years ago or 15 years ago, we're talking about her record in the very last job she had just a couple of years ago as Attorney General in California.
And it's a specific phase of life. Remember, age is more than a chronological fact. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
I want to ask you about something else that has been in the news a lot this week, and that's vaping and the dangers of vaping. 6 deaths across the country at this point about vaping-related disease. The Trump administration announced this week that they want to ban all flavored e-cigarettes. Do you agree with that policy?
I think it's right. Based on what I know about it, I think this is demanding a real response from our public health systems. If you don't go to school, Kamala's going to put you and me in jail. Yes, we achieved intended effect.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been.
There are those who are unable to see what can be, but there are many more who are able to see what can be unburdened by what has been. Remember Venn diagrams, those 3 circles?
Right. And then let's just see where they overlap. You will not be surprised because I have constructed a Venn diagram on this. Remember those 3 circles, how they overlap? I love Venn diagrams. So I just do. Whenever you're dealing with conflict, pull out a Venn diagram, right? And so, the 3 circles.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit. You need to get to go. I need